Let's see. Start with, is there a difference on 3.0T E40 test pipe file versus factory cat file?
Yep.
Yeah.
One is for test pipes, one is
Mhm.
for the factory cat. So the test pipe file is again our racing use
Mhm.
setup. It's there for those that are running without a factory cat, so it doesn't have things like the catalyst heating enabled,
Mhm.
or the some of the testing you obviously aren't going to be able to do. So we have to list the cat as not installed, which it does show up as on any of the monitors. It'll show that it's not there. Um, but other than that, the base tune's really pretty much the same. The factory cats are really not a bad cat. They flow a ton. You can make
Most factory cats these days do.
yeah, I mean,
That's not like it
on,
was.
on the 3 liter in particular, there's very, very little difference power wise between running with the stock cat versus the test pipe. So it's unfortunately a longevity thing on those. That's the only reason
Yeah,
that it's really a racing
if
version.
you're racing, track driving, the cats, just get in the way and they melt and
It's
they're
a yeah,
problematic.
it's a durability issue more than a
But
performance.
on the street, if it was me, I would, well, legally
It is
you
you.
want you want to run the cats, but there's really no loss of power, and you're going to run cleaner. You can feel better about not polluting the air as
The
much.
vehicles usually sound a lot better too with the factory cat.
They sound
It's
good.
tough to tame that motor, and keep it from
Yeah,
being a raspy,
yeah.
you know, not necessarily the most pleasant sounding engine.
But there's a lot of sootiness that you
Yep.
eliminate that gets all over the back of your car, and then for other people driving behind you, test pipe cars are very noxious
Yeah.
to be behind. So I think if you're looking for a more responsible, refined, legal experience, then stick with the factory cats. You may have to replace them every few years
Mhm.
because they're not a lifetime Cali converter like
Yeah, it's interesting too these days because there's such a market for recycling cats. Honestly, you can honestly get most of your money back. Honestly, if you find a good used set of cats, you can put those in. If you have a degraded set, you can recycle the degraded set, provided they still have cores left in them and you
yeah,
haven't blown them out
they
entirely.
may not.
Um, but yeah, usually, the cats will become compromised. It'll be just some reduction. In flow, the element's still there. It'll melt. It'll break up a little bit, kind of turn sideways, but
It's just the
still something you can recycle.
cats are the price you pay for the 3.0T supercharged motor. There's no turbocharger insulating, so that there's literally a flame front that comes out of the combustion chamber, past the exhaust valve, out the exhaust port, down the header, and hits the cat.
Yeah, it's like an 8-inch path maybe
Yeah.
from the exhaust valve to the catalyst for your shortest cylinder.
Where turbos actually convert a lot of the heat into energy and
Yeah,
absorb, a lot of it.
yeah.
So
Pre and post turbo EGTs for similar power levels to what we're doing with the B8
yeah,
are
much
way less.
100 degrees difference. So the 3.0T is like a flamethrower compared to the average turbo motor. But if you have to spend, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 bucks every 2-3 years for a 500 plus, horsepower daily driver street car that runs tens,
It's the right way to do it.
that's cheap. That's very cheap. You'd have to spend, well into the six figures for most factory cars to be able to do something like
Yep.
that. Is so yeah, there's definitely a difference, and just keep in mind if we ever have two separate files, there's a difference. We don't just support extra files for the reason.
No, and that's literally probably 1,000 some files I think additional that we do support because we do offer with
Yeah. So I mean, if it doesn't serve a purpose, we don't create a new file for it, and even then, it has to really serve a purpose.
Yep.